This is your last chance. We have Ethereum approaching $4,300. We have Bitcoin near all-time highs. We have XRP near all-time highs. We have Bitcoin dominance about to break down under 60%, and yet no one new is coming into crypto, it seems like. There's no excitement, but this is the huge opportunity, and you don't want to be even a day too late. Let me explain why that is. Apologize for the sweat. I think it's 95 degrees with a real feel of 105 or something like that. So it's hot out here, but I wanted to come with this video because we are getting very close to an explosive moment in crypto. And I don't know when it is. Maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next week, maybe it's next month, maybe it's next year, I'm not sure. But we are getting very close to breakouts on Ethereum, on XRP, on Bitcoin. And really, there's still no excitement in smaller cryptos. And I've been very clear that I have largely invested in the risk-on part of my portfolio through leverage trading as opposed to buying small cryptos. Now, I actually bought a small crypto just the other day and went pretty sizable with it. And it's up 58% here today. So like things are starting to move, and it got me thinking, if you are waiting to go risk on, right? Let's say you do want an allocation to smaller cryptos, or you want to leverage trade, but you haven't gotten into it yet. There isn't a lot of time, and people think that there is a lot of time because, you know, they want a move to be confirmed. Think about this. If XRP has a 5% day, a 5% day, and then a 30% day, which sounds crazy, but maybe it breaks to the new all-time high, and then there's a short squeeze or something like that. It goes from $3.30 up to over $4.50. That means that, let's say it goes to $9, $10 this bull run. It goes from a 3x from where it is now to a 2x. Let's say you're using leverage, use 5x leverage through BYDFi with my link underneath the video. You have 5x leverage on XRP. If you get in now and it does a 200% gain, you get a 10x. If you wait till 450, not only is there more of a chance of a pullback down to 360 or something like that, or 340 330 where we are now, you also lose out from a 10x to just a 5x. There are a lot of small altcoins that will have a 20% day, a 20% day, and maybe a 10% day, and people will want to get into them then. And I don't want to say all the gains, but a lot of the gains go away after you miss that initial move. Now, of course, some of the altcoins have jumped off the very bottoms, but I'd say a lot of small altcoins still haven't had big moves, and I'm not even investing in many. That was kind of a one-off for me. I saw an opportunity with a smaller altcoin. What I'm doing for the most part is leverage trading, and I think even there, like I said, you lose out on a lot of the gains if you miss that initial move. Now, I've talked about this many times on the channel. I use low leverage, so I might use 2 to 7x or something on a crypto. And like we said, a lot of those gains go away too if you are too late to the game. This is an interesting opportunity because, like I said, Ethereum is very close to breaking all-time highs. Although there's still some wiggle room, right? The all-time highs are around 4,900 and we're at 4,300 now. Bitcoin is 5-6% away from its all-time high, and it's stuck in a range right now. If we break 118, 119,000, it's probably going to be pretty doggone bullish. And we haven't seen anything close to an alt season. If anything, it's just been Bitcoin dominance for the last 3 years. So there haven't really been that many people coming into the crypto market as exit liquidity, honestly. There haven't been that many people that have come in and dumped money into new cryptos that have created a lot of hype, but we could see that here again soon. So if you want to get into positions, now is probably the time to do it, especially with us moving into the fall. We can always see more drops, right? I'm not saying that we're going to go up only from here, but typically the fall is extremely bullish, especially with us going into a time where the Fed's going to cut rates. Most likely, it looks like they're going to cut 2 or 3 times this year. And with crypto coming to 401ks, with the SEC and the CFTC turning so pro-crypto, I just don't see us having a huge drop. I mean, we definitely could, but I just don't see it as very likely compared to us continuously moving up. I just filmed a video how Bitcoin isn't risky. I probably could talk about that for 30 or 40 minutes with a lot of charts and data, but I just kind of spoke to what I've been seeing. I don't think crypto's thought of as super risk on anymore, at least Bitcoin is not thought of as super risk on. Some people say that in traditional finance, but when you look at the volatility compared to some other top tech stocks, it's trading just like a tech stock. It's not trading like a 3x NASDAQ volatility asset. No, it's getting less volatile as time goes on. And this is without countries even buying it now. And this is without 401ks yet either, buying Bitcoin week after week. So don't be surprised if we see some excitement here soon, especially with ETH and some other altcoins hitting new all-time highs like XRP. I mean, Solana is still far away from its all-time high. I think it's at 180. The all-time high is 300. So we'd have to go up another 60, 70% for it to hit all-time highs. Cardano still under $1 and its all-time high is 330. So don't be surprised if money starts to flow down. I'm not getting super risk on in my altcoins. Like I said, I did make a bigger allocation to an altcoin, but that's just compared to anything that I bought recently. It's still small compared to my Bitcoin and Ethereum positions, but I am very interested in leverage throughout this cycle because it's an easy way of taking profits. And if you do it right, you can actually make insane returns, and you can much easier take profit, like I said, from an leverage position than you can from a spot position. It feels much worse to sell Bitcoin at 120,000 versus, hey, I'm up 5x on this Bitcoin position on leverage. I'm going to trim some on the upside, and you can take partial profits, all this kind of stuff. You also get pretty sweet bonuses, like on BYDFI, we just finished up a $10,000 XRP bonus, where just depending on how much you trade, you could get up to $10,000 of XRP. But in general, I feel like now is the time to set up your final positions, especially if you think there is going to be some blow off top. If you don't think there's going to be a blow off top, we're still in a really good spot, because I don't think we're going to chop down a huge amount. Of course, if the traditional market falls down too, we could, but the markets look good. The S&P 500 is near all-time highs. NASDAQ hit all-time highs, record profitability. We have cuts coming. Overall, everything seems to be stacking up, and this is with a political environment that is very pro-crypto. So I'm bullish. I think now is kind of a huge opportunity before we start seeing people go risk on. I think people will start trading with a very high leverage. I think people will start getting into small altcoins with large amounts of money, hoping for 100x. So the craziness is coming. We still have good opportunities to buy. We still haven't hit all-time highs on Alt 2 or Alt 3. So altcoins still just haven't done much this cycle. And I think now is an opportunity to get in before the big hype. Of course, I am very heavy Bitcoin, so I'm not saying that you have to go into altcoins by any means. I'm staying mostly Bitcoin, but as we get into more risk-on environments, you can make more money in some of these altcoins and then kind of roll that profit over into Bitcoin. I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin, to be clear, to buy altcoins, but I am. I do see the potential of what's happening here, and of course, it's going to be down to your goals and your risk tolerance. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. I think now is a great time to be trading if you want to trade. There are links to BYDFI underneath the video, also links to BitUnix and BTCC and BLOFIN and Weeks. All of them have great bonuses right now. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.